This is a demo series I'm doing on operations and performance of certain Octorings. These are smoke measurement systems, and the content's a bit, well, some PhDs want to know about it. Let me tell you that. The chart you're looking at is an opacity measurement. It's a test I perform to just check the performance of the unit. So, an ND filter is for photography. It's a reference. I can use that to calibrate the system. The values aren't exactly what I want them to be, or they're not exactly what they're advertised for. They're primarily optical accurate lenses, but we can use them. You can see here that we've got an ND2, an ND4, and an ND8. And the ND8 is almost 100% opacity. It's really 95%. However, we're only interested in the 20% as far as smoke is concerned. This chart is the wavelength of light. Normally the wavelength of light doesn't change in an open beam. Here we've got about 395 for a wavelength. That's just the start of the UVA range. So I wouldn't stare right into this light, but it was really good for small particles. And it gives us a lot of intensity, but the main thing it gives us is a constant color when there's nothing in the beam. When you put lenses in the beam, it changes. We can see that. When you put smoke in the beam, it changes. And it's rather predictable. However, it's a shift in color, not a shift in light. If we look at this, red would be vertical and blue would be down. So most of the shift is to the red. The wavelength chart is produced by the 3 color diodes. And the 3 color diodes, I can get a nice good signal off of each one of them. You can see that when the filters were put in, they respond almost the same, but just slight differences. When I took the dark filter out, for one reading, it peaked out the system. So we can see it's got a range of about 65,000. It didn't hurt the unit. It was just in a more sensitive scale when I pulled the blinds away. We can see then it responds to the incense smoke that we put in the chamber and then returns back to a normal level. This is the final chart in this demo series. This is a cycle time, and we can see that for the most part, we're at 1 second intervals we're gathering data. There's an occasional peak to 2 seconds. I'm not sure the reason of that. It could be the communication between the two devices. It could be the program's holding it up a little bit. But I do know that when I put a dark filter, a really dark filter, we're not letting much light into the sensor, and it takes longer to measure the light if there's not as much light. So the sensor responds quite slow in extremely dark light, and there will be a time delay or a time offset when this occurs. Next, we have a simulated unboxing. The unit is designed to be worked on and maintained in its box. I'm hooking the Octoring and the receiver box up to the same battery. It's pulling about 3 watts, which I think is a little conservative. However, it's all working. I hope it does when you receive it. Smokeless Chimney, www.smokelesschimney.com, Facebook, Reddit, and YouTube.